Well, weather outside means it's time for some fall recipes in the kitchen. Jess Thomas with UT's Culinary Institute has a delicious chai cake to share with us today.
We all know about coffee cake, which doesn't actually have any coffee in it. But how about something different? How about some chai cake? Bon Appetit magazine just featured a whole array of recipes using ghee. Now you've probably heard of ghee. It's actually made out of butter, but it's actually lactose free. Priya Krishna does this whole article with a bunch of recipes using ghee. And Hetal Vasavada has actually contributed a recipe for chai cake, which has all the flavors of chai. So let's get started on making chai cake. Now I made my own ghee, so these are the milk solids that were left over. We're actually going to use that in this recipe. So first the streusel topping. We've got our flour, brown sugar, cardamom, cinnamon, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of nutmeg. You can use cloves if you like, or star anise. I'm not putting it in mine. And then some salt, and we stir that around. Then we put those milk solids. They clump together, so just make sure you separate them. And then we put in our ghee. This is what gives it that rich taste. So just use your hands, get in there, and make those giant crumbles. It's got the texture of wet sand. Now, let's do the rest of our recipe. We've got our flour with our baking soda, baking powder, salt, and we're whisking that all together. For the wet ingredients, we've got 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. Then we're adding our yogurt and our milk, our granulated sugar, our brown sugar, continuing to mix all of that in. The brown sugar really adds the moistness and richness. We've got our vanilla extract and our ghee. So we're going to mix all of that up as well. Now you can just buy ghee, you don't have to make it, but then you won't have these milk solids. But it's fine if you don't have them. I'll show you how to make ghee another day. So we're just mixing that all together, and then we're sifting in all of the dry ingredients. Now this is kind of like a muffin batter or a pancake batter where you don't want it mixed thoroughly. So we're just folding the dry with the wet, and then we're going to have some lumps in here, but that's totally fine. That's exactly what we want. Now I've cut a circle out of parchment paper and lined a 9-inch cake pan. I'm putting in half the batter, and then I'm putting in half of our streusel. I love that layer in the middle. And then we're going to just smooth that all out, put the rest of our batter on top of that. Be careful because it might come off, so just be really careful with that. And the last of our streusel. The last of this streusel is going on, and it's definitely my favorite part. We're going to pat it so it sticks to the batter. Our oven has been preheated to 325 degrees, and now we're going to let it bake for about 40 minutes before we check it. We stick a toothpick in. There's no cake batter left, so we are ready. Take a knife and gently go around the edges. After it's completely cooled, then we flip it onto one plate and then flip it onto the next. The original recipe actually has you making a parchment sleeve, so you can just pull the whole thing out. We're ready for our chai cake. It is super moist and you'll love it. I hope you get to try this recipe for chai cake, because this fall you'll want a cup of chai and some cake to go with it. You can find me on Instagram at Just Soul Food. Thanks for watching.
Whew, looks delicious. By the way, Jess teaches community cooking classes with the UT Culinary Institute.